Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unit 4. If you are watching this video, chances are you have either just turned in your short theoretical paper or you are finishing that up. Um, so this introduction is going to be a little bit different from the introductions that I've done to the other units because we're now really entering the what I consider to be the meatiest part of the course, at least when we're thinking about our instructional practices and pedagogies, which I think is where all the interesting stuff happens anyway. Um, so rather than giving you an introductory presentation slideshow to introduce theoretical constructs to you, I really want to talk a little bit more about how I'm hoping you're going to be engaging with the readings and the content from here toward the end of the course. So you're going to be starting to read chapter 6, and that's the first chapter 6 and 7 in this unit, as well as a few articles, which I'll talk about in a minute. But chapter 6 is the first chapter of part 2 of the book, and in this part of the book, which really takes up about, I think, 2/3 of the content of the book, my purpose is really to think about the intersections between theory and practice and research. And although we did talk about that in the first portion of this course in units 1 through 3, the presentation of theories in the first few units were relatively not rigid, but pretty self-contained, right? So, we had our correspondence theories and cognitive constructivist coherence theories, and then social constructivist coherence theories, followed by critical and incoherence theories. So I made those seems, although there are some blurred lines between them, I made them seem somewhat self-contained. And what I firmly believe is that when we are engaged in classroom practices, that those boundaries between theories are really not so cut and dried. In fact, they're heavily blurred. And that's one of the reasons that classroom spaces are so complex, and that's one of the reasons that teachers' work is so challenging and interesting and complex. So my hope in the second part of the book is really to have embraced that. So the book is now from chapter 6 on organized not according to theories, but according to the kinds of practices we engage in classroom life, with the kinds of practices we engage in. So chapter 6 is focusing on cracking the code. And so by code instruction, we're talking about phonics, phonemic awareness, emergent literacy, although that's kind of broader, spelling, grammar, that kind of stuff. In chapter 7, I really explore meaning making, pardon me, and that includes largely speaking comprehension and vocabulary instruction. Although you'll see as you read in the introduction to that chapter that I think of that designation of comprehension and meaning making as already blurring into domains such as literature response and critique, disciplinary literacies, and stuff like that. So I want you to be prepared for reading research and reading about classroom instruction in ways that really complicate and may blend together and disrupt some of the neater and cleaner categories of theories that you investigated for the last few weeks. So with all of this in mind, what I want to do next is go through, you already know that you're reading chapters 6 and 7 of the text. You're also going to be reading 4 articles. And so what I would like to do is introduce you just briefly to those articles. 2 of them are research articles and 2 of them are pedagogical articles. So I want to introduce those to you and give you a little bit of information about why I chose them. And then I'd like to suggest some pre-reading and during reading strategies that I am articulating to help you think about some of the complexities that I just spoke about and how some theories may be challenged, blended together, disrupted, etc.